Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well and taking good care of yourselves. I also hope you've been finding little moments to enjoy the beauty of autumn, the cozy days, the changing colors, and that special peaceful feeling that this season brings. I always find a lot of inspiration in the shifting seasons, and this October I've been enjoying crocheting cozy scarves in all those rich orange, red, brown shades. And today I'm so happy to share a brand new tutorial with you. A delicate lacy scarf that's perfect for fall. I absolutely love the soft and cozy drape of this scarf. The fabric feels so light, airy, and soft. It has that perfect balance between elegant and comforting, which makes it such a joy to wear. The yarn I used is Heartfelt by Lion Brand Yarns. It is a category 4 worsted weight yarn, 100% acrylic, and this specific color is Yosemite. I work with a size H 5mm hook. I use a bit less than 2 skeins of this yarn. That's about 445 yards or 250 grams. The finished measurements of my scarf are about 67 inches long, not including the fringe, and 8.5 inches wide. Of course, you can adjust the length or even the width to suit your personal taste. At the end of the video, I'll also show you how to add fringe, but it's completely optional. My autumn chrysanthemums are still going strong. They make me smile every time I look at them. I hope you too find little moments of happiness and joy, whether it's in crocheting, enjoying nature, spending time with your loved ones, or whatever fills your heart. I hope you enjoy my tutorial. Happy crocheting! The starting chain must be a multiple of 6 plus 3. And for my scarf, I start with 33 chains and I crochet them quite loosely. Here I have 33 chains and I'm ready to start my first row, which is going to be a foundational row. It's going to be a row of double crochets. Into the fourth chain from the hook, I'm gonna work the first double crochet. We never count the chain on the hook, we always start counting from the next chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the fourth chain, I will work a double crochet. Now, in this first row, you have two options of how you work double crochets. You can make them directly into the chain, like this, or you can work all of your double crochets into the back hump on the of that fourth chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now if I turn my chain over here, I have the back hump and I can work my double crochet there, and then all the following double crochets I will work into those back humps. If I work my first row of double crochets this way, working them into the back humps of the chain, I will have a really nice beautiful edge. However, if you are going to add fringe to your scarf, that nice beautiful edge won't be visible. So in that case, you can work directly into the chains if you prefer. Working the first row into the back humps of the chains is something that I myself learned relatively recently. If you watch my very first videos, I always worked directly into the chain. But this is something that I wish I have learned sooner in my crochet journey. I really like how beautiful that edge is when you work your stitches into the back humps of the chain. So I greatly recommend doing it this way. And even if you're gonna add fringe to your scarf, I would say keep doing it this way so that you get some practice and you get comfortable working your stitches that way. This is something that seems like a little thing, but I think it really elevates your crochet skill and it really elevates the quality of your finished crochet project. So now going back to the scarf pattern, the first row is just a row of double crochets. I make a double crochet into each chain, and I'm personally working into the back humps, but it's really up to you how you want to make that first row of double crochets. Here I finished the first row, and in this row I have 31 double crochets. And if we look closer, that's that beautiful edge that I was talking about. I turn my work and I start the next row with a beginning double crochet. I have a detailed video on how to make a beginning double crochet, but you can also replace it with 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and these 3 chains will count as the first double crochet. However, again, I believe it's totally worthwhile learning how to make the beginning double crochet, because just like working into the back humps, it's just this little thing that really improves and elevates your crochet skill. Okay, so that's the first double crochet. Now I skip the next 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and into the next one I'm going to work 6 double crochets. And in many of my videos I recommend working directly into the stitch, inserting the hook under 3 loops. But in this pattern, it doesn't matter so much. So if you wish, you can just work under 2 loops. That's what I'm going to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I make 1 chain and I skip 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next one again I work 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, 1 chain, and I repeat the same sequence. Skip 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next one, 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then again 1 chain, skip 5 double crochets, and into the next one work 6 double crochets again. And that's how I'm going to continue crocheting till the end of the row, and I'll see you there. Here I am at the end of the row. I worked 6 double crochets over here and I have 3 stitches left. 1, 2, 3. I skip 2 stitches and finish this row by making a double crochet into the last stitch. And after these 6 double crochets, I don't make a chain the way I made it over here. So remember, in the beginning of the row, I started with a double crochet and then 6 double crochets over here, and I'm going to end with 6 double crochets and a double crochet into the last stitch, and chain 1 spaces are only over here in between the shells. I turn my work and I start the next row with a beginning double crochet. Next 2 chains, 1, 2. And now I will work a V-stitch into the space between the third and the fourth double crochets of this group of 6 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the third double crochet and this is the fourth. And inserting the hook in between them, I work a V-stitch and I work it like this. First, I make a double crochet, then 2 chains, 1, 2, and into that same space, I make another double crochet. So that's a V-stitch. Next, 2 chains, 1, 2, and over here I have a chain 1 space, and into this chain 1 space, I make a single crochet. Again, 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the space between the third and the fourth double crochets of this group of 6 double crochets, I work a V-stitch the same way as over here. So first I make a double crochet, 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the same space I make another double crochet. And here I have a V-stitch again. 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the next chain 1 space, a single crochet. And that's how I'm going to continue crocheting this row. 2 chains and a V-stitch into the space between the third and the fourth double crochet. Then 2 chains again and a single crochet into the next chain 1 space. And that's how I'm gonna continue crocheting, and I'll see you at the end of the row. At the end of the row, I work the last V-stitch into the space between the third and the fourth double crochets. Now I make 2 chains, 1, 2, and I finish this row by making a double crochet into the last double crochet. And if you are replacing the beginning double crochets with 3 chains, you will be making this double crochet into the top or the third chain of 3 chains. I turn my work and I start the next row with a beginning double crochet. And this row is very similar to row number 2. I will be making those shells again. Into the space, into the chain 2 space of this V-stitch right here, I work 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have a shell similar to this one. Next, 1 chain, and into the chain 2 space of the next V-stitch over here, again I work 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, 1 chain, and so on. And at the end of the row, I make a double crochet into the last double crochet. But if you are replacing the beginning double crochet with 3 chains, over here you will have 5 chains. So you will be making that last double crochet into the third chain of those 5 chains. I turn my work, and the next row is going to be the same as row number 3. So from this point, I'm going to start repeating 2 rows. Row number 3 and row number 4. I'm gonna start the next row just a little bit to show you again. I start with the beginning double crochet, then 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the space between the third and the fourth double crochets of this shell or this group of 6 double crochets, I make a V-stitch, and that's a double crochet, 2 chains, and another double crochet. Then 2 chains, 1, 2, and into this chain 1 space, a single crochet. Again, 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the space between the third and the fourth double crochets, I make a V-stitch. Then 2 chains, and into the next chain 1 space, a single crochet. So this is a very easy lacy pattern with only 2 repeating rows. And just look at how beautiful this lacy fabric is, which is created only by 2 repeating rows of the pattern. I continued crocheting, and now my scarf measures about 66 inches long. And now I'm gonna show you how to make the last row. So the very last row over here that I made was a row of shells. That's row number 4. Now I turn my work, and I'm going to make a row of double crochets because I started my scarf with a row of double crochets, and I want to end it with a row of double crochets. I start with a beginning double crochet into the first stitch. And now I will simply work a double crochet into each double crochet across. So I work a double crochet into each double crochet of the next shell. Like this. Now I skip the next chain 1 space, and again I make a double crochet into each double crochet of the next shell. And I'm gonna crochet this way all the way across, and then into the very last double crochet I'll also make a double crochet. Here at the end of the row I make a double crochet into the last double crochet, and this is my row of double crochets. I still have about half a skein of the yarn left, so I want to add fringe to my scarf. So when I fasten off, I'm gonna leave a yarn tail about 7 inches long, so that yarn tail will be a part of my fringe. I don't need to weave it in. I simply fasten off, and this yarn tail will be a part of my fringe. Now to make fringe, I'm going to cut strands of yarns 14 inches long. And I'm going to cut a whole bunch of them. Now I take 2 strands of yarn at a time. I fold them in half, like this, creating a loop. And I insert the hook into the first stitch, grab the loop back on the hook, and pass it through the first stitch. And over here I have the yarn tail from the starting chain, so I'm just gonna add it to my yarn tails. And now I pass them all through this loop like this, and I pull tight. And that's how fringe is added to the first stitch. Now I do the same thing again. I take 2 strands of yarn, fold them in half. I insert the hook into the next stitch, grab the loop on the hook, pass it through, creating a loop over here. And then I pass these yarn tails through that loop, pull tight, and here is how fringe is added. And I'm just gonna continue doing it until I added fringe into each stitch on both ends of the scarf. Here is the fringe on one side of my scarf. I'm not sure what happened here. Somehow my strands got shorter. I'm gonna steam all of them and then trim them to the same length. So my fringe is gonna be a bit shorter than the intended 7 inches, but you can make yours as long as you wish. So I steamed it and trimmed it, but now I'm not sure if this was such a great idea because steaming changed the texture of the yarn. It does look and feel quite different, and I'm not sure which look I liked better. So just keep that in mind, and it's really up to you if you want to steam your fringe or if you want to add fringe at all.